Shannon, do you think we should get started? Do you want to give it another minute?
Sure. That sounds great. Yeah, looks like we've got a quorum here. Um, Delighted to have everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Through the chat, I actually recognize a bunch of the names, so welcome back. It's good to see you here. We are really excited today to introduce some pretty fabulous candidates. Just to give you a little context for how we know these individuals, the board list has long been interested in helping diverse candidates find their rightful place in a boardroom, be that private company, public companies, wherever their skill set is best suited. And we've worked with candidates in so many different ways in the past, but relatively recently, in the last couple of years, I guess, have introduced a program that we call our Accelerator Program. And that's where we take board-ready candidates and we work with them to really hone their value proposition, to identify opportunities, to develop kind of a strategy for how they want to approach their board candidacy. And so what you'll see today, we won't spend too much time on the program itself, but what you'll see today is a collection of candidates with pretty diverse backgrounds and skill sets. And they're very excited to share with you their accomplishments and what they believe that they would add to a boardroom. So like I said, I will not hold up getting in contact with these folks, but did just want to provide you a little bit of kind of an overview of the types of skills and individuals you'll get to meet today. We've spent a bunch of time getting to know them through one-on-one calls, group sessions. They have networked with each other and given each other feedback on how to pursue this. So some pretty in-depth preparation has gone into it. These executives have been leaders at organizations like Alphabet, Salesforce, AWS, and then super fast-paced startups like Shopify, Chewy, Spring Health. Functionally, they have finance, HR backgrounds, brand, go-to-market. We have IT, digital transformation expertise in the group as well. So I would say this is a potpourri, and you're very likely to find some interesting backgrounds here that may suit what it is that you're looking for your individual companies, or just be delighted to meet some wonderful talent. So with that, I'll leave it there. I will not hold you back from meeting these candidates. Sam, I think I'll turn it back over to you. I'll wrap by saying thank you so much on behalf of the board list. I actually don't even know if I mentioned in the beginning, sorry, I should have introduced myself, but I am the co-founder and former CEO of the board list, and just always so wonderful to pull these groups together. It's such a reflection of the strength of our community and the investment in commitment to identifying this exceptional talent and bringing them into boardrooms. So thank you for being here again, and we're looking forward to a good event. Sam, we'll turn it back over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Shannon. Without further ado, we will have our candidates join us to share more about themselves and what they're looking for in their next board role. So the first candidate that I will invite to come on our virtual stage and join us is Karishma Buford, and I will turn it over to her.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Samantha, Shannon, Megan, for having me. So excited to be here. My name is Karishma Patel Buford. I'm the Chief People Officer at Spring Health, a B2B mental health platform. I've been with the company for a little over a year now. My background, I've spent 15 years across various industries in driving turnaround and transformational change in health tech, fintech, manufacturing, e-commerce across the board. Some of my key highlights is helping companies grow revenue and headcount, help support triple, quadruple revenue growth up to 400 million, a few thousand in headcount. I've also had the experience of transitioning from private to public company through IPO, and key experiences there both domestically and globally. In terms of my value proposition, what I think I could add to a board, I think it starts with where I started my career, which is as a clinical psychologist. And I went from psychologist to joining Korn Ferry as a consultant, where I learned the science of leadership. And I've spent the last decade taking that science and integrating it with the art to help CEOs and boards identify the right executive team that they need at the right time. And I think this is one of the things that keeps boards up at night is, do we have the right team in place for our next stage of growth? So that's very much what I've spent the last decade doing with between succession and hiring and developing executive teams. Also, as I spoke to the IPO experience that I had in my last company, we went to IPO via SPAC. So had 6 weeks to build an equity framework for the entire company, stand up the compensation committee while also hiring a few independent board directors. So that was a challenging and thrilling experience at the same time. And in terms of my excitement about joining a board, I think finally boards are more open and willing to expand beyond hiring CEOs and CFOs and COOs to chief people officers for their boards, particularly around talent continuity, business continuity, hiring and firing the CEO, which is one of the key purposes of a board. So I think with my talent lens, I can drive and provide that value. In terms of industries and areas that I'm particularly passionate about, I'm right now at Spring Health in a place that really aligns with my mission around mental health. 2 other spaces I'm particularly interested in is women's health and fertility. I've had my own journey to become a mom of 3, 8, 6, and 2. So I would love to be able to contribute to the women's health space in a meaningful way. And then the second area that I'm very passionate about is education tech. So as technology and AI innovation grows rapidly every day, I think the face of education, as we all know, continues to change and will be very different for future generations. And I'd love to be part of that story. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Karishma. And in the chat, everyone, I have gone ahead and dropped the links to Karishma's Boardlist profile as well as her LinkedIn. So if you would like to connect, also please feel free to reach out to our team, search at theBoardlist.com at any time. If you need help making a connection, in just a couple of introductions, we'll take a moment and walk through exactly how requesting a connection works on the platform. But if at any time you need help with that, do feel free to reach out to our team directly. And our next candidate that will be joining us is Nadia Hansen. I will let Nadia take the stage here.
Thank you so much, Sam. Good evening from Bruges in Belgium. So I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks and have no clue what time zone I'm in. So good morning, good afternoon. And if you haven't been to Bruges, I highly recommend adding this fairy tale beautiful city to your list. So without further ado, I'm Nadia Hansen. I have 15 years plus experience specializing in digital transformation, go-to-market strategy, predominantly within the regulatory and state and local public sector government industry. So at Salesforce, I lead the go-to-market for all 3,200 plus cities and counties in the US and expanding to Canada and Europe as well. And I started the local government division for Salesforce as part of a bigger group, but we've scaled revenues and the business by 104% year over year. And so for context purposes, we didn't really have a local government division within Salesforce, and this just started a year and a half ago. So just so you get a bit of a better idea, we went from 0 to 104% within the last year and a half. And it's very exciting to see the growth. So prior to Salesforce, I was the CIO for the 10th largest county in the US, which is Clark County. So nobody knows where that is. And so I'll just mention a very popular city. It's Las Vegas, where I had the privilege to lead a team of 200 employees, overseeing cybersecurity, digital transformation for the 2.4 million residents, 10,000 employees living in the Valley. And so in terms of the value I bring to a board, I'm best suited for small, medium, large size companies that are in the growth stage, that are looking to scale in the regulatory space. And since my strength is in government, I've been in the public sector industry for forever, it feels like. So somebody who's looking to scale their revenues, having a thought partner who understands transformation within government, or trying to get into the government industry for scaling SaaS, B2B companies with cyber experience and the network and connections to be able to scale quickly. I currently serve on the board of United Way in Southern Nevada, which is a nonprofit, as a member of the Governance and Nomination Committee. I've been serving there for the past year and a half. It's been a wonderful journey, and I'll just pause there and see if anybody has any questions for me. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for sharing, Nadia. And Nadia's, again, links to her board list and LinkedIn profiles are available in the chat. If you do have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the chat or into our Q&A box. Thank you, Nadia. All right, the next candidate who's going to be joining us today is Jen Higgins. Jen, you can go ahead and come on video when you are ready. Perfect.
Great.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Sam. Good morning. My name is Jen Higgins. In my current role, I serve as Vice President of Global Public Affairs at a company called Guardant Health. We're a leading precision oncology company based in Palo Alto, California. I report to our CEO. I serve on our executive management team. I've been with the company for 4 years now and oversee and build a global function that includes key stakeholder relationships in government affairs, public policy, corporate communications as well throughout the world. I'm also an executive sponsor for our company-wide DE&I initiatives, which I believe is incredibly important as companies look to navigate the complex issues around DE&I and ESG. I started my career in government, working at the Department of Health and Human Services, spent a number of years on Wall Street, really helping companies understand the complexity and the landscape that is the regulatory and legislative environment for DC when it comes to healthcare policy. After doing that, I spent 15 years working directly with C-suite leaders, spanning the breadth of the healthcare industry from leading PBMs and insurers, navigating complex issues in crisis management, as well as challenges in the political environment that is Washington, as well as working with early stage companies who had been engaging in DC for the first time. But throughout my career, I think that the thematic is really that I've served as a trusted advisor at the table for companies at the leading edge of healthcare innovation. My work's provided me with the opportunity to protect and transform corporate reputations in both my current role as an executive at Guardant Health, which is a high growth publicly traded company, and also as a Washington-based consultant to Fortune 50 clients. I bring deep knowledge of the healthcare sector from over 20 years in corporate, private equity, and government roles. And as a senior executive leader, I've successfully built high impact corporate functions, but also helped companies of all sizes navigate the complexities of the Washington regulatory landscape, and in many cases achieve reimbursement for their products and services. This has also been, an opportunity for me working at a company like Guardant to expand that aperture throughout Asia, the Middle East, as well as Europe, in terms of building that public affairs brand for a company, helping to navigate more complex issues ex-US. This unique perspective has positioned me to assist companies in the healthcare and tech arena to hopefully achieve long-term revenue growth in the United States and abroad. In terms of my interest overall in boards, I've spent a number of years serving as in leadership roles on nonprofit boards, but eager to have the opportunity to translate my skills in the corporate environment to another company, particularly companies at the intersection of technology and healthcare. Those building strategy for tech companies that are looking to expand into healthcare, but also issues that are more personal and I'm passionate about regarding mental health, as well as telehealth, which has become increasingly important in a post-COVID environment. So I appreciate the opportunity to interact with everyone and look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Jen. And our next candidate who's going to be joining us is Rachel Smith. Rachel, you're on it. Thanks for joining. It's all yours.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Smith. I'm joining from the San Francisco Bay Area. In my career, I focused on advising CEOs, senior executives, and often entrepreneurs, really in how to grow and scale their business, whether that's small businesses or for the last decade, I've been working at Google, where I focused on small, high-growth teams and how we establish them within a large organization and then grow them. So during that time at Google, some examples of teams that I have worked on are augmented reality, health, and commerce. And again, have gotten some of them off the ground from ground zero and grown them all the way to about 1,500 employees. Prior to Google, I led teams in early stage companies, including Pinterest and Connexity. In my current role, I'm Director of Strategy and Operations for Health at Google. I report to our Chief Health Officer, and my focus is really on driving a cohesive and innovative approach to health product development while minimizing risks. When I say risks, that's regulatory, safety, brand, legal risks. basically everything you can think of in the risk space. I partner really closely with senior leadership across many Google product areas that include search, YouTube, Fitbit, research, and cloud. Previously to this role, I led hardware and software program management teams for Google's augmented reality group. Did some really exciting things like developing our Project Iris, which are AR glasses that feature live translation, which we've talked about publicly. I was also very closely involved in the creation of Google Lens, supporting the formation of the initial leadership team and setting the groundwork for a lot of growth that has happened since then. I've also had the chance to be closely involved with multiple acquisitions, from initial decisions around build versus buy through due diligence and successful integrations of quite large companies. The deals that I've been involved with include Fitbit, which was just over a $2 billion deal, Wildfire, which was just under $500 million, and North, which we didn't disclose. And across these transactions, I really focused on maximizing value through strategic alignment and successful leadership and team transitions. Early in my career, I focused on human resources roles, which really grounds my approach to strategy and operations. My expertise spans organizational design, compensation, executive development, and of course, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I'm really passionate about how technology can improve people's lives, including health, education, and productivity, but I'm always open to hearing about new and innovative spaces. So I look forward to talking to you more. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much for sharing. Again, Rachel's links to the BoardList profile and her LinkedIn are in the chat. Right now, we're going to take a quick break to walk through exactly how on the platform you can request an introduction to any of the candidates that you've been introduced to on this call. So my name is Samantha Foley. I'm the Chief of Staff at the BoardList. I'm also the Program Coordinator for our Accelerator program. I just want to mention again, we will drop this actually right now into the chat. If you have any issues with requesting an introduction on the platform, feel free to reach out to search@theboardlist.com and our team will be happy to help. So I am going to share my screen. Perfect. You should be able to see, I have pulled up Karishma's profile as an example. This is the logged out view. I'm pulling up the chat right now so you guys can let me know if you are not seeing Karishma's profile on my screen. This is the logged out view. So if you haven't yet created your BoardList profile, this is what each candidate's profile will look like when you first land on it. And to connect, you have two options in Save to Project or Contact up in the top right of the header bar. So the details that you're going to be asked for, if you go ahead and click through to request a connection this way, will take you to this screen. If you do already have your account, you're free to use the top right to sign in. And if not, we ask a couple of details about the opportunity that you're looking for. Our team does, don't feel like you have to get the language on this exactly right. Our team does review every connection request that comes in, and then we will reach out to make sure that this fits with the candidate's experience and preferences. And then we will go ahead and reach out and make a warm introduction if there's mutual interest. I wanted you to see kind of once you request an introduction, exactly what happens. And then I'm also going to come to the view if you are already a searcher on the platform, if you've already created your profile, when you click Save to Project, you'll have an opportunity to select. If you've already opened a search on the platform, you'll have an opportunity to add the candidate to an existing search. If this is your first time searching, you can go ahead and create a new project. There are some very basic details you'll have to fill in to be able to connect with the candidate. And then because I have already saved Karishma here, so you will get a screen after you have saved them to your project, letting you know a little bit about the information we're going to request from you before processing that introduction. I'll hit continue, and then these details are the same that you saw on the previous page in the logged out view of the details about the opportunity that we will ask you for, just so we can better gauge whether or not it's going to be a mutual fit. You can add the company name, your company web address. A deck is great if you do have one available. Any details you want to share with our team about the opportunity. Again, this won't be pasted verbatim to the client, so feel free to share more about the opportunity here. You can share company annual revenue, company type, headcount, industry vertical. Again, some of these fields are optional, but they're very helpful to us if you do have time to include them when we're making those introductions. So at that, I will stop sharing my screen. And Megan, is there anything that you wanted to add about requesting a connection before we get back to our candidates?
I think that was great, Sam. As always, as Sam mentioned too, if anyone wants to send us an email at search@theboardlist.com, feel free, and we're happy to facilitate and help guide you in however you're looking and searching for candidates. As you know, we have a search platform where you can log on and access the full community of candidates at the board list. Beyond that, we have Spotlight, which is a free newsletter that you can subscribe to as well. And then in a little bit, I'll share a bit more detail about a new feature that we have where we can build and curate lists for you every 2 weeks, fit to spec. So more to come.
Thanks, Megan. Perfect. I am going to welcome Wendy Chin on video to introduce herself. Thank you, Wendy.
Hi. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Megan, for this great opportunity. And thank you, everybody, for listening for my presentation. I'm a senior technology executive with global operations experience, leading divisions within Fortune 100 companies. I started at Bell Laboratories and worked for AT&T. They sent me to Asia Pacific. So I really was head of Asia Pacific in the newly created business division that integrate computer and telephony. I brought data warehouse into Asia Pacific. From there, I went to Siemens doing similar things. Then I came back to the USA and I joined Pfizer. And because I believe pharmaceutical is really where advanced technology would be using nanotechnology. And I did not know anything about pharmaceutical. So I decided I would join the largest company in the world. And so I was Pfizer, I was heading their technology, IT engineering. And from there, I actually worked on the very first holistic data science, data analytic capability to trying to figure out, based on all the clinical data, how to figure out trends in genomics and disease state. So I have a lot of experience with data, with technology, with AI, with cybersecurity before I even know about AI. From Pfizer, I started working on my startup company. I head up artificial intelligence. I actually developed natural language processing software before Siri came out. And I really jumped into cybersecurity and AI with a full force because I believe that's where the future is. I'm currently CEO of an advanced technology company building solutions that would enable trusted AI. And we are part of a consortium working on 100 million plus integrated data security proposal for the Department of Defense and NATO. And the reason I said I know trusted AI because AI today is not to be trusted. It's using unencrypted data and it does hallucinate. It would actually tell you false information and then create data to back it up that its information is correct. So there's a lot of issue with AI today, but it can be worked on. It's really the human issue that we really need to articulate to really make better so we can all live in a peaceful world of AI. In addition to technology, I also did consulting work. I work alongside CEOs of small and medium-sized companies regarding technology strategies and executions. Most recently, the CEO of a shipping company with over 500 million annual revenue in digital transformation, enabling the business to understand its own sales and marketing operations and expanding into the renewable energy market. Because of my technology background and my involvement in advanced AI models, quantum-safe encryption models, and my understanding of what needs to be done to secure our critical infrastructure and sensitive industries, I have a unique perspective on the unintended consequences of deploying AI without clearly thinking through the policies, executions, and ethics behind it, which the board must do today. I'm therefore looking to have a positive impact joining a public or PE-backed board, leveraging my expertise and operational background to enable company growth and reduce AI, cybersecurity, and other technology risks. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me later on or through the chat. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing, Wendy. And I will welcome Linda Chung next. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Linda Chung, talking to you from New York City. I've created foundational direct-to-consumer businesses built for longevity for brands such as the National Basketball Association and Herman Miller. I've launched flagship stores and e-commerce sites, broadening the reach of these iconic companies. As the P&L owner, I scaled these channels from startups to globally recognized standalone brands that deepen connections with fans and customers, businesses that continue to thrive today. Through my own consultancy, I now advise established companies and startups. I advocate for leveraging and maintaining brand integrity to promote customer affinity and achieve marketplace differentiation. I believe that as you scale a company, it must be done with long-term operational sustainability in mind. I also enjoy sharing my strategic and operational perspective through board service. I currently serve on 2 boards at Cornell University. I am also proudly a director for New Heights Youth, a wonderful nonprofit using basketball to develop academic, leadership, and life skills in underserved New York City kids. In a crowded consumer landscape, I'd love to lend my perspective to the board of consumer products or services companies looking to deepen their connection to the customer. If your board is missing this voice, I'd really love to chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. And our next candidate who's going to be sharing with us today is Majda Dabagi. Majda, I'll leave that to you.
Super, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this unique event and for your commitment to diverse boards. My name is Majda Dabagi, and I'm calling in from Paris, France, where I'm based. I'm an international sustainability leader, co-founder, and attorney. I have over 15 years of experience supporting businesses across all geographies, sectors, and stages navigate the rapidly evolving sustainability space, and specifically supporting corporate transitions to net zero. I have represented business at the highest levels of international multilateral negotiations, including at the United Nations. Most recently, I co-founded and directed the SME Climate Hub, which has become now one of the world's largest business platforms for climate action. I currently serve on a couple of advisory boards for climate tech startups, both in North America and in Europe. And I continue to speak at executive MBA programs, international conferences on the nexus between sustainability and business. I'm a firm believer that as sustainability becomes an increasing focus for companies, ensuring that the board has individuals who, like me, have both a broad business experience and deep sustainability expertise is going to be increasingly important. So I'm looking to leverage my experience and my expertise to integrate the corporate board of large established companies who are committed to climate action and the sustainable development goals. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to connecting with some of you in the near future. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Majda. Shalini, you will be up next. Take it away.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm just checking my mic.
I can.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Shalini Gopal. I have more than 20 years of experience in driving product and go-to-market strategies within Fortune 500 companies, including Alphabet, which is where I am right now, YouTube, and Pixar. I currently am General Manager and Vice President of TV at Google, where I defined and executed upon the company's TV strategy, growing the business from 0 to $1 billion ARR. I also started and grew a global diverse team of more than 500 people across Asia, Europe, and the US. Previously at YouTube, I ran solutions for large and small creators, including Disney and WMG, to help them understand the power of growing their presence online and driving the online economics, what we now call the creator economy. I also oversaw a successful acquisition of RightsFlow, where we drove music efforts at YouTube to be greater than $1 billion via the integration. The favorite part of my journey has been being a technical director at Pixar Animation, where I launched and have credits on the blockbuster movies Toy Story, as well as A Bug's Life. I currently am also on the board of YouGov, a public company based in London. It is a consumer sentiment company with a mission to empower user voices, a mission very close to my heart. I am part of the NomCom committee, where we just hired a new CEO from Meta. This was just announced a couple of weeks ago. I also sit on the DEI Council, both for YouGov as well as for Alphabet. I'm looking to be on a board of a US public listed company to help drive the business in the digital AI space with a focus on product strategy as well as on the culture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shalini. And I don't think that it had come up before in the program that you had a credit on The Bug's Life, which is one of my favorite Pixar movies. So I'm so glad you shared that. I'm going to welcome Megan back on screen with us to share a little bit more about the BoardList search offerings.
Hi, everyone. I didn't get an opportunity to introduce myself earlier, so I'll just mention I've been with the BoardList for, since the beginning of 2020, really called to the mission of what we do and the importance of what it means to build diverse boardrooms and how that really has impact on better governance. I am now the CEO of the BoardList as of January. You had just heard from our prior CEO, Shannon Gordon. This event, couldn't happen without our search partners who come and support the mission first and foremost. One thing that we want to share with you is that part of our work is really about giving exposure to incredible candidates, including this group here, and broadly as well. And so what we've done this year is we've launched a new feature where we can automatically curate a list of 5 to 10 candidate names for you every 2 weeks. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly and show you what that looks like. I might need share permissions.
You should have them now.
Thanks, Sam. Okay, perfect. And so it's just called Receive Curated Candidate Suggestions. So we ask for your basic work experience requirements, board experience requirements, if any. Obviously, we support opportunities for first-time board directors, and then anything else that you're looking for. And what we'll do is essentially email you 5 to 10 names. That's it. It's as simple as such. And you can send us as many requests as you would like. And then ultimately those lists are built to spec. Sam has put the link in the chat. And then we have our search team go and review those as well. So first and foremost, what's really exciting to hear on this call alone is that there's so much expertise around the most highly discussed topics in the boardroom right now, from human capital management, AI, to climate risk, to cutting edge healthcare, and all the pressing and urgent demands that are happening on regulatory areas as well. So nevertheless, we're really excited for y'all to be here, and hopefully there are some really wonderful connections that are made as a result. You'll hear from me in a little bit, but without further ado, we have a couple of other candidates to meet.
Thank you, Megan. And next on our candidates, thank you, Annette. Annette Goodwin is up next. I will leave the floor to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annette Goodwine, and I am the head of brand and advertising for SVB Silicon Valley Bank. I don't think I need to explain what that business is all about. We have unintended 100% brand awareness, which certainly wasn't part of what I thought the journey would be, but I lead brand and advertising there, and I'm also an advisor for a very, very early stage pre-series A company called Nickel, who is a fintech who's trying to disrupt how capital and liquidity happens for stock options for private companies. I've been fortunate to have led and built brand and go-to-market strategies for global companies that have been looking for growth, scale, transformation, and now what we're calling a reboot. with varied sector expertise and leadership roles within those sectors, certainly financial services with SVB and Nickel, e-commerce with eBay. I was there very early, retail and consumer packaged goods with Levi Strauss & Company. I've established really a breadth and depth of skill and capability in deriving brand value to drive business strategy. And that is so critical in today's very dynamic market and macro environment. And it's really important for boards to understand how to navigate within that space and how brand plays just such an important role. Finally, having been a senior leader in multiple growth stage companies, so literally having built very early stage growth brands and commercialized them to Fortune 500 brands where I served as an enterprise leader for brands. I wish to bring that capability and that perspective and that leadership to more companies out there through advisory and board work. So hope to have future conversations and meet folks later on. And thank you, Sam and the board list for bringing this opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here, Annette. Our next candidate who's going to be joining us is Antoine Owens.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Okay. I can. Sounds great.
Hello, I'm Antoine Owens, and I want to first thank the board list for providing this opportunity for myself and the other great candidates to introduce themselves, and for all of you that have taken the time out of your schedules to attend. I'm a finance and operations leader with almost 25 years of experience, having successfully built and scaled organizations with revenues ranging from less than 50 million to over 35 billion during my career, including Amazon, Chewy, and Change Capital Investments. My experience and on-the-ground executional capabilities have been honed both domestically and internationally, including leading large multinational organizations in Europe and the Middle East. I'm most proud of my history of hiring, scaling, and developing high-performing teams with a focus on delivering organizational priorities, unlocking customer value, and increasing customer retention and driving new customer acquisition, while not sacrificing long-term value creation for near-term profits. This includes creating programs and the associated business cases that accelerate bridging the divide between the online and brick-and-mortar customer experience and increasing long-term customer loyalty. My executive and board leadership style is to leverage a very data-centric approach where I quickly move between 30,000 and 5,000 foot views when necessary. This allows me to understand how strategic C-suite decisions impact frontline team members and the end customer, and proactively identify and support the mitigation of which of those strategies may drive higher executional risk. My peers appreciate my thoughtful, measured, and prepared approach, and I owe much of my success to my focus on listening intently, quickly distilling data by asking relevant questions that surface the right details and context, understanding the external factors and impacts, and then focusing on teasing out key insights. I was most recently the commercial finance leader and finance executive overseeing technology, product, and customer care at Chewy, reporting to the CFO, where I was responsible for leading the commercial business to its first full year of positive net income in its 12-year history in fiscal year 22, scaling the tech, product, and customer care orgs from scratch to efficiently support 4,000 members, which were growing 20% year over year, and developing a strong controllership mechanism to oversee a $10 billion e-com business growing more than 13% per year. Immediately prior to my tenure at Chewy, I held several executive finance roles at Amazon, including the CFO for the $25 billion retail softlines business, CFO for operations for the Middle East and North Africa, based in Dubai, and as the finance executive responsible for creating and executing the post-merger playbook for the 2017 Whole Foods Market acquisition. I've previously been the CFO and COO for a founder-led contract food services company, the VP of acquisitions for a publicly traded financial services company, the Boston Consulting Group, as CFO for Capital One's tech business organization and for sports marketing startup, and an audit at Deloitte & Touche. In addition to my professional career, I currently serve on the executive committee of the Board of Trustees for the University of Tulsa and served as a committee chair, and I'm on the advisory board for a privately held financial services company. In addition, I'm currently a member of the Executive Leadership Council, the ELC, which is comprised of executives focused on increasing C-suite diversity at Fortune 500 companies, founding member of the F-Suite CFO Network for high-growth tech companies, an NACD Board Leadership Fellow, member of the 2023 cohort of the Black Boardroom Initiative led by Perkins Coie, and a CPA. And I'm committed to increasing diversity in the organizations where I work and serve, and have successfully led, developed, and launched D&I initiatives at scale as the co-founder of the Global Finance Diversity Advisory Group at Amazon in 2019, and was the founder and co-creator of the Management Leadership for Tomorrow Development Program for finance execs at Amazon in 2020. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to finding a mutually beneficial opportunity to bring my domestic and international finance, operations, and customer experience building and scaling expertise to a current or future search for a mid-stage private company or public company board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antoine. And then I'd love to welcome Harini Gokul. Harini, let me know if you're having perfect issues getting that video to work. I think you are still on mute, if you can hear me.
I'm here.
Perfect.
Thank you, Samantha. Appreciate it. It's been such a treat to hear everybody here on this call today. What a great portfolio of experiences that we've gathered around the room. I'm so excited. I'm Harini Gokul. I am the Chief Customer Officer for Entrust, an identity and cybersecurity company with deep fintech roots. I'm the first Chief Customer Officer for Entrust, and I was brought in by our CEO and the board to accelerate the transformation of Entrust to a SaaS model and build the customer experience and engagement model and own accountability for all recurring revenues upwards of 300 million. And at the same time, define our go-to-market and create a customer-first culture. So it's been a busy few months, but I come to this after 2 decades of leadership roles first at Microsoft, then at Amazon Web Services, where I built industry-defining customer experience models for customers ranging from the largest Fortune 50 leaders in our ecosystem to hypergrowth startups, to help them build solutions that can realize their customer value, get them to their outcomes with velocity. What does that mean? It means many decades of building, growing, scaling, go-to-market, customer engagement models globally, translating technology innovation in the cloud to reality, and then building the operational scaffolding for running a multi-million, multi-billion-dollar SaaS business and building high-performing global diverse teams, everything from a team of 50 to teams of 2,500 delivering all post-sales. At Microsoft, this included, I just want to share a couple of the chapters in this 20-year journey. At Microsoft, I spent 7 years in Western Europe as part of a global cloud adoption team to accelerate the cloud trajectory in Western Europe, creating public, government, and private partnerships to both bring technology and policy together. This was during the time of GDPR, so I got a minor in thinking about cloud security and privacy, which actually led to my interest in this space and my current role. One of my other accomplishments include incubating the largest customer success team in the industry at Microsoft, 1,500 people plus in a year, and the motions, mechanisms, and the org models that went to support that. This helped Microsoft triple their growth and secure their role as a leader in the cloud ecosystem. It also got the attention of AWS, who then recruited me to come and incubate a similar model for their next generation customers, B2B solution providers, hypergrowth startups, and private equity firms. In summary, I'm a builder. I build, grow, scale. I thrive in complex, ambiguous environments where change is paramount. I like solving hard problems. My middle name is Scale. I'm passionate about how technology can improve people's lives, and I've looked for opportunities to translate technology innovation, AI and onwards, to human impact all through my career, from my start in financial services to supporting and advising startups and governments and customers. I also leverage my operating experience to invest in startups and as an LP for venture capital firms and angel investments. I give back to my community by sitting on the board of my own city and want to extend that now to public and private boards. Because of my tenure at AWS and Microsoft, I've had conflicts of interest, which have prevented me from sitting on public or private boards. In my new role at Entrust, given it's a private company, I'm finally able to explore more formal board roles. And I'm looking for a public or a private company that is undergoing change, looking to scale its journey, scale its maturity and customer engagement, and finds value in my broad global experience in B2B, helping companies innovate and deliver value to their customers. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much for joining us. And before I pass the mic back to Megan, we have a couple of candidates from this program who are exceptional, but for scheduling reasons weren't able to join the live call today. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes and give you a brief introduction to those candidates who you are also welcome to request an introduction to via the platform, or again, by reaching out to our team at search@theBoardlist.com. So if you'll give me just a moment to set up my screen here. The first candidate I wanted to share with you all is Brittany Forsyth. I'm dropping Brittany's information into the chat as well. Brittany is a human capital executive who scaled Shopify from 20 to 10,000 employees with a revenue of over 4.6 billion. As Chief Talent Officer, she led the organization's growth and scale of its people and culture function and was a critical member of the executive team to take Shopify public in 2015, disrupting the usual IPO playbook by taking a culture-first approach to going public. Prior to leaving Shopify, she led the transformation of an in-person work environment to digital-first environment and culture. The next candidate I wanted to share with you all is Brenda Jacobson. Brenda is an experienced advisor supporting businesses that are navigating change. She has successfully guided companies through internal organizational changes, through market disrupting changes to products and services, and through changes in transition following an exit. As a board member, she helps privately held companies flourish through high velocity growth and evolution, and guides them in leveraging the power of human capital internally and as a product and business model. Brenda's finance and accounting credentials also make her a natural fit for the audit committee. Lavanya Nolly is another of our candidates. Lavanya started her career with the Nolly Group, a 100 million national retail chain, focusing on new business development and growth opportunities, retail store operations, and private label. During her tenure, Nolly doubled its revenues and expanded from 14 to 21 stores. Original, results-oriented, and enterprising, she is a creative problem solver with a decade-long career in all things consumer. Profiled in the media as a recognized expert on retail in India, she is a published author and speaker at industry forums and events. Named by the Economic Times as a corporate India's fastest rising women leaders, and by Forbes as Asia's Women to Watch in 2016. She's an ambassador for Government of India's innovation efforts and NITI Aayog's Champions of Change program, an Aspen Fellow and YPO member. We're also pleased to introduce all of you to Jennifer Robertson. Jennifer leverages deep cross-sectoral insights acquired over her 20-year board and governance career. With governance expertise spanning billion-dollar budgets, geographically dispersed and diverse workforces in highly regulated environments, Jennifer is a highly experienced board chair and director with a track record in sectors which include construction, financial services, maritime, defense, and fire and emergency services. Jennifer currently serves on an inaugural NASDAQ Center for Board Excellence Advisory Board in recognition of her decades as a board leader who simultaneously addresses culture and compliance, opportunity and oversight, as well as risk and reward. And finally, Kirstine Stewart. Kirstine is a widely recognized and accomplished executive known for her ability to lead transformation in both legacy and growth industries. Kirstine was the vice president of media at Twitter, overseeing North American partnerships across all verticals, including television, sports, gaming, news, and music, with added responsibility for Vine. She was the founding managing director for Twitter Canada. Prior to joining Twitter, Kirstine was the head of Canada's national network, CBC, home of Schitt's Creek and other global hits, where she oversaw the network's English language radio, television, and digital programming, revenue, and operations, and brought the CVC back to a top 10 position as Consumer Brand of the Year. Earlier, she was Senior Vice President of Programming for Alliance Atlantis, overseeing HGTV, Food Network, National Geographic, BBC Canada, and others. Christine is a sought-out and trusted member and advisor on business, tech, and media subjects. She is a volunteer mentor for organizations such as The Big Push, #Move the Dial, and Techstars. She is also the author of the bestseller Our Turn, a book that looks at opportunities for leadership and innovation in business today. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to highlight the candidates who are also part of this exceptional group who were not able to join us live today. And with that, I'm going to welcome Megan back to share a bit more before we wrap up for the day.
Hi, everyone. I know that it's just at the end of the hour, so we've got some folks that have to hop to another call, but I just wanted to say, I know I don't need to make the case for this audience, but board diversity is so incredibly important, especially in this moment in time. Ultimately, I think the point of diversity is to build better governance. And when we look at all of the headlines and the stories around governance, there are so many more great examples and stories that we would like to be able to tell versus the ones that we get to see. It's partners like you that understand the importance of diversity in the boardroom. And we're not just talking about racial and gender diversity, but of course, those are important, but also diversity of perspective. Understanding what it means to build a board matrix and a skills gap assessment. If you need tools to help you do so, the board list has them. We have free resources to offer, but it's really about understanding what are the perspectives that you have around your boardroom today? Where are the gaps in the areas of skills and expertise? And how do any of these candidates today address those? Because ultimately it's going to be about who can your board rely on and who does your CEO want to pick up the phone and call when they have a question, a problem, a challenge they need to solve, and they need advisory and trusted support from incredible experts like those that you've met today. So our ask of you today is twofold. If you or your portfolio companies have an open board role, request a complimentary introduction to any of these candidates. If you have a list that you would like built, please feel free to submit through our form on the curated search. And then of course, last but not least, if you don't have something in mind, but you think that you have someone at another PE firm or a VC firm, you have a friend or a talent partner that you think needs to know the board list and needs to know these candidates, we love a connection. We love an introduction. You're welcome to add me on LinkedIn. You can add me to the chat and ping me directly. You can email me, megan@theBoardlist.com. But we're really here to help support and make connections because we believe in better governance and we believe that there are better organizations that can be built as a result of it. So thank you all so much for joining us here, supporting the mission of diversity in the boardroom. We hope to see full and true representation sooner rather than later so that we can best serve customers, employees, and all the communities that are touched by the work that all of us do every day. So without further ado, thank you all so much for your time, and we'll see you soon.